The greatest tech inventions of all time. I mean, if anyone is what's the greatest tech inventions of all time? Name 5 things that you think would never come up. That would be one of them. I mean, if I'm being honest, like
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
It's SOSO Juve. We in the building. Another week of the My 5 Cents podcast. Let me introduce the cast of characters. To my bottom, I got HLS.
What's up, everybody? Self-proclaimed fan favorite. I'm ready.
That
self-proclaimed is definitely needed in front of that.
Fan favorite. Don't ask him about his DMs.
Don't ask him because it's popping
on his name because it's popping. So I'm in a friendly mood today, so I'm gonna agree with them today. It's popping today. and to my right, I got the logical genius.
I don't even know what that was about right now, but what's up, everybody? It's the logical genius, ready for another episode.
And welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast. Why her in the building? Do you want to know why I'm talking? Like somebody asked me, why am I talking with an accent?
Why are you talking with an accent?
B, we got some big news for the My 5 Cents podcast.
What's that?
What's that is, not much that we look at rankings because, we've just been doing this thing. But apparently we are ranked in Apple Podcasts. You believe that?
Okay. I do believe it. We put in a lot of work. Why wouldn't we not believe that?
Definitely. So we are ranked in the United States 209
Man.
under the category of society and culture, philosophy as a subset.
Okay.
I'll take it.
209 out of 208.
That would leave us out of the rankings if we were 209 out of 208 logical genius. The logical one.
There's no logic there.
Yeah, no logic at all. And the reason why I have an accent is because in the Bermudas, we are ranked number 4 in all of Bermuda in society and culture. And even better, under that subset of philosophy, we are ranked the number 1 podcast. So shout out to my Bermudians out there.
Yeah, shout out to Bermuda. Yeah.
Throw the sound effects in later.
Oh, we get that in post?
Yeah,
we'll get that in post?
I picked the right time to guest. I'm going to Bermuda next week.
There you go.
Like, wait a minute.
So,
tell them you know us. They'll treat you good over there.
I'm one of the crew now. I'm right here.
There you go. Yes, you are.
Bermuda knows no different.
So if guys, go ahead. My people from Bermuda, one, I need to be rated on how my accent was. So go ahead, send us an email at my5centspodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and rate the accent. Go ahead and converse with us because we would love to get to know our listeners out in Bermuda. And just want to thank y'all for listening. This was a pleasant surprise that we learned today. I think kind of by accident. I was like, what is this clickbait? Chartables. What is Chartables? Oh, shoot. What? We on the list. So here we are. To make it even better, we have a tech entrepreneur, a podcaster, and a professional stand-up comedian. He started his journey in the tech industry back in 1997 when he founded his own website development company, which was one of the pioneering companies in the country at the time. While working in technology, his comedic talents couldn't be contained, and he eventually took the stage as a stand-up comedian. His passion for comedy led him to create #Roundup. That's at #Roundup on Twitter, or is it X now? What Elon Musk has done some things. Somebody got to correct me. This is a platform that has contributed to over 8,000 top 10 USA trends on Twitter. With the growth of social media, particularly Instagram, he founded Stampede Social, a company aimed at helping creators drive traffic to their content without relying solely on a link in their bio. By marrying technology with business objectives, he has become an expert and is excited about sharing his knowledge and expertise with us. Please welcome to the show, Jeff Dwoskin. Welcome, Jeff.
What's up, Jeff?
What's up, everyone? That is one of the finest bios written and then rewritten by ChatGPT I have ever heard in my life.
So, Jeff, let me hit you with the icebreaker. What is your superpower and how has it helped you in your journey?
My superpower is to be able to spot something that's wrong immediately and not say it. I wouldn't say it's helped, but but I would say I try to be helpful.
We're not sure about the helping part. Okay.
But you know, I think it's helped with my background in companies, just in terms of being able to being tech focused. Things just kind of pop out at me, and so I have over time I had to kind of, you know, ease into that stuff because not everyone always wants to hear the issues.
Definitely.
So, you know, but it is a superpower, you know.
Okay, HLS, it looked like you were about to say something. Let me not step on your toes.
No, not at all. I know you always have a follow-up, but I was so excited because we're talking about tech. And one of the things that, like, now with the invention of AI or the emergence of AI, you have all these, I can't say all these, I'm a conspiracy theorist part-time. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are in terms of like iRobot, Terminator, all these robots now have artificial intelligence. Was this fortune telling? It's like, was iRobot like what we're going to see in the future? What are your thoughts?
I think AI definitely is scary. I don't think, you know, when you look at like a Skynet type thing, right? I mean, that's kind of what, I mean, there was rumors and I think it was true, but then I think they took down where they were doing that one of the Air Force or somebody were doing tests with AI, and the AI kept killing the human because the human was not in fake and not, I mean, in simulation it was doing it, but like to because it was keeping it from achieving its targets. So, but that's like Skynet, right? I mean, that's like Terminator and stuff like that. It's like, you know, it can't brain, you know, if you have a robot that's brain processes like blackjack, you know what I mean by that? Like when you play blackjack, it's like you play by the rules. There is no real, you just do what you're supposed to do, right? And so if you think about that with like a robot just programmed to do certain things without the variance of gray area, then yeah, it can get kind of scary where it could go. And it just gets, all it has to do is be released by accident. When you think of the powerful, when people start talking about ChatGPT versus now, it's even 100 million billion, that's a estimate, times more powerful than when we were talking about it at the beginning of the year. So, and it's only going to get, and it probably already is more powerful, just not released to the public. So, yeah,
it's crazy.
I don't think you have to worry about like losing your job or anything, because I don't think it's, you know, like that. But there's other applications of it that are the scary parts, I think.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the whole job thing, because I think that's a big scare. I've read a bunch of articles and things on, you know, especially like in the legal industry, there's a big fear that all these junior lawyers are going to lose their jobs because they're going to rely on AI and generative AI to kind of pull information that the junior, you know, associates were doing. So there's a big, I think I was at a presentation for like a futurist, I can't remember his name. It was warning how, you know, AI is going to take a lot of these jobs, these small administrative type jobs, because I mean, the power of Chat GPT now, you know, you can ask it one or two questions and boom, it can write a presentation for you, write a document for you, write even code for you, write basic level coding for you. So there is that fear, I think, but I agree with you. I think it's we're still too far from that because it's still very new and very early, and it's not fully tapped into yet.
I think the opportunity is you have to know how to use AI.
Yeah.
Right. So prompt engineers is a phrase that gets thrown around. Knowing how to get the most out of AI is going to be where the jobs are. So if you can't do that, just like if you can't type or if you can't, you know, use Excel or, you know, whatever. I mean, there's certain skills you need to have certain jobs. And that's just going to be one of them, being able to master that, because even in the legal sense, early on, I said, write me an NDA, a non-disclosure.
Hmm.
And I sent it to my lawyer, and he's like, it's about 70% good.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't know if it completely stole it from someone else, right? That's part of the problem too. With the new chat, literally, I think like yesterday, a ChatGPT enterprise system came out, which protects your data. Right
Mhm.
now, by the way, if you upload information to ChatGPT, you're uploading it into the Borg or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
system. So these early TikToks were like, if you want ChatGPT to make you an amazing pitch deck for your startup, don't do that. You don't put your startup that nobody knows about and your ideas that nobody knows about
Because they're
into
going
an
to know
open
about it. Yeah.
system, right? If someone accidentally touches on it, it can pull that information right in. Maybe not specifically saying it's yours, but it would say, oh, it's a reference point. Here's some ideas, and they're your ideas. So you got to be careful with that. But yeah.
And that's a good point. Like on the data in, like, there was reported, I think 2 attorneys tried to use ChatGPT to file briefs, and it was citing cases that didn't exist. And they lost their case, and then I think they got disbanded from the bar association that they were at, because
Wow.
they cited cases that ChatGPT said to them. And I think the other attorneys were questioning, are these real cases? They went back to ChatGPT to say, hey, are these real? And ChatGPT said, yes, they are. And they went right back to it. And literally they lost the case. It's like the joke of the legal world, but it's also one of those things where it's like, it's dangerous, because the data, it's based on the data that's being fed to it. And if the data is bad, the information is going to be bad. So,
Yep. You still have to double check everything.
mhm.
Absolutely. So with Stampede Social and talking of AI, do you use AI with the company as you're trying to drive these creators' content out there?
We use AI in, I think, kind of a cool way. So one thing that we use AI for in Stampede Social is when you connect your Instagram to Stampede Social, it pulls your posts in, let's say your last 20 posts. And as comments come in, you can set your AI tone and theme. And so like a tone might be sarcastic or witty. A theme might be a dog, a social media person, a chef. And so there's like 2,900 combinations where you can kind of find your voice. And then if you comment on my post, I can click the AI help button, and it'll generate a response to that comment. But what's cool about it is it generates a response to that comment in context to the caption. So it knows what the caption of the post was. So it could be a post about this podcast, and you just say, this was a great episode. And then the AI tool will go, yeah, it was a great episode of the 5 Cents podcast. Juve really rocked it out, right? So it can,
As always.
Yeah, as always. But it's just so it can add context, like that. So it can help you out. And then we have reporting where you can do analysis of the comments on a particular post. And it also can do a competitive analysis. So you can put in a different podcast, Instagram. It'll go and it'll read the captions of that Instagram account. And then it provides back a marketing analysis report and ways that you can compete against them, or ways that you could, up your game for them as well. And then
really
there's other
cool.
stuff we're doing where you can talk to the data, collects all the comments, so you can start to really understand your fan base and what people are chatting about when it comes to context of you. So
That's really
Okay.
cool.
So what's the origin story behind Stampede Social?
it started with Twitter, with hashtag Roundup, and then we developed this auto response technology. We'd built this entire platform of hashtag games on Twitter. And so what that was, we ended it in January 1st after started in 2015 and sunset in January. But every like 90 minutes, we'd have a different hashtag game. A hashtag game could be marriage in 5 words, my podcast name, right? That kind of thing.
Okay.
And then people would just play. And the idea was we had an app, and then you get a notification to play. And the idea was, that if the thousands of people with the app and tens of thousands of people that follow the account all start playing at the same time, you can organically trend a phrase, the hashtag. And so over that period, we did it well over 8,000 times
Wow.
organically. And we would work with brands. Then we started creating some automations. There was a lot of automations we created to manage that much hashtag gameplay 7 days a week, almost 24 hours a day. And then we actually moved away from Twitter a bit ago, which was fortuitous because, Elon took away all the APIs, at least the free
Yeah.
ones. And now they're like $40,000 to do
Yeah, it's
a
paid,
month
yep.
to do what we were doing. So that became cost prohibitive, but we had moved to Instagram because we thought, we can help creators. Let's help creators. Let's take this powerful tool and concept and help creators get content to their fans without any friction. So the key technology is like for your podcast, if you were to put this post up and just say comment below Jeff, and we'll send you a link to the episode, it would automatically DM that person, and then they'd get a link to this episode because you'd set that up as a campaign. And then you have a full database of everyone that requests every episode. So you get to understand which ones were the most popular, who is requesting it, who your top fans are,
Right.
all that kind of good stuff. So it's a real robust tool for creators.
Sounds like it. Wow.
Went deep.
So it sounds like a great technology that you have out there, which happens to coincide with our topic for the day. We got so excited about Bermuda that we didn't even talk or introduce what the topic is today.
That's right.
And that topic is the best technological inventions of all time. Now, fellas, I don't know what happened to us. I felt like we were doing good. We were keeping it by decades. Originally, we would start with this all-time business, and now we're back to this all-time business. How did we mess up on this?
You took the topic idea and ran with it. That's what you
Yeah, that's what happened. I don't know. I mean,
This one is on me. So, Logical Genius, please explain to Jeff what's about to happen in the next segment.
all right, Jeff. We've established your expertise in all things technology, right? You're the guru of technology for our listeners. So what we're going to do is HLS, Social Juve, and myself are each going to present to you our top 5 lists of technological inventions of all time. I guess apparently again, not by decade or anything, of all time, of all human time. And you get to decide which one of us has the best list, because we love to debate on this show and we like to have winners on this show, and you get to decide the winner of this debate.
Awesome.
All right. And HLS, please explain to Jeff what is our criteria for judging?
Jeff, you're a smart guy. I'll keep it simple. There is no criteria.
None.
Oh, that makes it easy.
You might like the fact that I signed up for Stampede Social, and that's why you might choose me as number 1.
I would love that. And it would get you number 1.
The question is, Jeff, while you're judging, is do you believe this to be true?
No, of course not.
That's the question that you have to ask yourself while you're judging.
I have receipts.
You may like the fact, Jeff, the presentation of the list, because presentation matters.
Yeah, but you might like the fact that HLS used my email address to sign up for Stampede Social, and that's why you want to pick me.
Got it.
It is completely up to you.
Whatever you decide. But the first decision you have to make now is you get to decide who goes first.
All right, we're going to start with the logical genius.
First is first. Here we go. Jeff, first and foremost, again, thank you for being on the show.
If you need a moment, it's time to grab a pillow.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Oh,
Legit.
boy.
If you needed a
boy.
nap
Hey,
today,
Jeff,
you're about to get
they're already threatened by my list. I haven't even said anything yet. That's just the power of my list, right? They feel the aura of it. So this is tough because, as Soso Juve said, typically when these all-time lists that we have that spans over years and hundreds of years of human existence makes it very difficult because you can go in any direction. But I'm going to start at number 5 with the telephone. And the telephone is key because it allowed people to communicate faster over long distances. Before, it was the Pony Express, mail. Someone had to walk 10,000 miles to get to somebody's house to borrow some sugar, right? All of that took too long. Now all you have to do is pick up the phone and call someone who's literally in the next room over to you and say, hey, can you get me some water, or can you get me this? The power of the telephone just allowed people to connect more faster. And I think that is one of the most impactful inventions in human history.
You call someone in the other room to bring you water?
Oh, yes. Oh, not even call. We text now,
I'm
right?
just-
Text
yeah.
message. Yeah,
Pompous,
of
pompous
course.
much.
Of course. I don't want to say her name, Alexa, but I may put a message on her and tell them to tell the other person in the other room to bring me some water. So, but yeah,
So
but that's the evolution. At number 4, I'm going to go with the automobile. The same impact as the telephone, where you are now connecting people and making it easier for people to connect. Now allowing people to travel over vast distances in a shorter period of time. Again, before it was riding around on a pony or a horse, walking 10,000 miles to go get somebody sugar. Now I can drive down the street or drive around the corner to check my mail and drive back up my driveway, and I'm good. So the automobile to me is a top invention. It allowed for travel, mass travel. I mean, negatively impacts the environment, but that's another conversation, another argument. So automobile at number 4 for me. At number 3, I have to go television. We as human beings process images differently, and television is like the ultimate form of visualization of anything, right? Storytelling changed, news telling changed, pornography changed. All of those things changed because of television, right? And it allowed people to see images and see fantasy worlds in a different way because of different storytelling that were originally just in words and books or even radio, right? So television for me is number 3. At number 2, I have to go computer. The computer revolutionized everything, right? We talked about AI and processing things. The computer allowed us humans to think and do things faster, right? Mathematical equations, that was the basic groundwork of a computer. But that allowed us to get information, process information, evolve faster over the last, computer was in 1930s, 1939 or whatever. So it revolutionized human thinking, human processing, and it just helped us take a big leap when it comes to our evolution. And at number 1, I'm going to go with the World Wide Web. I think this is by far number 1 because it allowed us to get access to everything. Any piece of information that you want is available at your fingertip. You want a recipe, you want directions, you want porn, you can get access to porn. It made information more accessible, and information is key for humankind to evolve. The more access you have to information, the more knowledge you have access to, the easier that information is, the better. And also it allowed us to connect. It ties in the communication, the telecommunication, the telephone aspect of it. And now television is essentially on the internet. So I think the World Wide Web to me allowed people to connect in a different platform that we haven't been used to. And it's still fairly new because World Wide Web was in the early 90s, and it's still growing. So we have yet to see the full extent of the impact of the internet. And Jeff, that's my top 5.
All right. So if I could sum up your top 5, it's technologies that make it easier to get water or porn.
Yeah, basically.
We are trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because after Logical Genius watches the porn, he needs the water.
Exactly.
Right. It makes sense. You got to keep hydrated.
There you go.
If you're going to keep going, you got to stay hydrated.
There you go. So Jeff, who do you want to hear from next?
HLS.
All right, Jeff. So I believe the topic was the best tech inventions. So all of my top 5, my 5 cents of the topic, all technology based. So at number 5, Logical Genius says the car. I think the car is cool, but what's better is GPS. You get anywhere you want to go. Back when you used to give directions, make a right at the McDonald's and then make 2 lefts at the light. And when you see the flag, you went the wrong way. Turn around, make a U-turn, and when you see the farm, go down that street. Now with GPS, so much simpler. Get anywhere you want to go. And number 4, this was huge for me because I'm a frugal person. I used to go to Blockbuster, rent a movie for like $4 for the weekend after returning, get late fees. But now there's streaming services. Streaming services, for me, super fun. It's easy. And during the pandemic, it allowed everyone who's stuck at home to kind of hang out together because you could have watch parties now, which I thought was fantastic. And now you don't have to go to the movies. You wait 3 months and you could watch. I just watched Mario Brothers the other day. It's on Peacock. Yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought. And number 3, I went medical with it. 3D printing, right? Scientists at Stanford developed a technique that allows them to 3D print heart tissue. So in terms of like life-saving measures, I think 3D printing is going to revolutionize medicine. And number 2, Logical Genius said the telephone, but I took it a step further and said the smartphone. Instead of just calling for water, I could look up the formula for water. I could do a math equation for water. I could text someone for water. I could text someone in another country in a different language to say, get me some water. All via the smartphone. And if I want, I could take a picture of the water. And I could make a movie from that same phone of the water flowing. The smartphone.
That's what we're doing, guys.
That's what we're doing.
That's right.
I could get the recipe for water.
And then number 1,
I believe it's H2O. That's 2 parts H.
you know what? Go figure.
One
I
part
didn't know this
O,
until
I
Because
believe.
I got some hydrogen sitting in the
Yeah.
back of my
I
garage.
don't think you need a smartphone to figure out the ingredients of water.
I love this.
And then number 1, a lot of these things could not be possible without the internet. Not the World Wide Web, but the internet. Believe it or not, fun fact, they're 2 different things. And that, Jeff, is my 5 cents on the best tech inventions.
Okay.
Well, I must say that was very intriguing, habitual.
I didn't know I needed the recipe for water. I just didn't know. I didn't know I needed that.
That right there might be an all-time quotable. For the My 5 cents.
Sometimes, listen, I have a child now.
Yeah.
I have to look up homework.
So you're making water for your child? You're not buying
the periodic table of elements.
You gotta go organic with the water and make your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Daddy, I'm thirsty. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna make you some water.
Science experiments.
OMG. Jeff, I think you've been thoroughly entertained. I'm thoroughly entertained. I wonder where this is going to go. So we're going to go with my 5 cents on the topic of best technological inventions. So for me at number 5, I know that HLS had it number 1, but I have it at number 5 because you'll see that there is somewhat of a method to my madness to my list, which is the internet. Internet is number 5. I believe it is so prevalent in our being today. And of course, where we are going into the future. We had a nice conversation about AI, getting with the internet. Oh man, it's just a highway of information. Now, keeping with that information, we got number 4.
It's literally the information highway.
Yeah.
You can't just reverse the words and be like,
right?
I made this up.
Hey, copyright, I don't want no problems.
If you reverse the O and the H in water, you have no idea what you got.
Yeah, you're
We have no idea. We have no idea.
O2H to blow up everything.
So, Jeff, I want you to imagine being at your favorite concert at the biggest stadium, and I'm the one who got you tickets. So that means you are in the nosebleed section. Now, imagine your favorite artist singing with no speakers. It would be a terrible show. So at number 4, we have speakers. Definitely speakers as a top invention. At number 3, kind of coincides with it, but you got the microphone. Microphone is used for telephone, hearing aids, public address systems. Shoot, we are talking to you right now through a microphone. And if you put the microphone and the speaker together, what do you have? A telephone. Smartphones don't have a smartphone without a speaker and a mic. Telephones don't have it without a speaker and a mic. At number 2, see, I feel like these guys overthought it, but you have the battery. Stores chemical energy, converts into electrical energy, mobile phones, mobile cars, handheld, video games, digital cameras, batteries at number 2. And at number 1, you have transistors. And they are the components of the microchip. It's in every electronic. Transistors have become the nerve cell of the information age, which is all part of my information highway of the internet. And that right there is my 5 cents on the topic. So, Jeff, what's about to happen next is we're going to get into a little cross-examination. So do you have anything for us that requires some clarification on our list?
I do. So you think a speaker and a microphone works by itself, and that's the invention?
Without a speaker, do you
Well, I
hear?
mean, the speaker's amplifying something, but it's definitely. I mean, it's the receiver, really, right, or whatever. Like, I think you're missing some pieces.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Because I was trying to understand the logic and that connection. I mean, I get it at a high level, 10,000-foot level, maybe. Yeah, but
And
okay.
let me get this. So when you're at Costco
Mhm.
and you're walking around Costco with your family, or who do you go to Costco with? Friends, family, whoever,
My family, my cousin, my
strangers.
peep, R&D Rob.
And you're walking down and you turn into that aisle where it's just loaded with Kirkland batteries. You drop to your knees and say, "Hail, yes, this is the greatest thing ever." You see these AAA batteries? Oh, this is where it all begins. Because without this AAA battery, my remote wouldn't work, and without my remote working, how could I watch TV? Which is Local Geniuses number 3. So it's like I'm
not gonna lie to you, Jeff. I feel like you broke it down quite well. Think about the theory behind it. You're like, oh my God, my cell phone battery has died, right? Do we not talk about batteries every day? Or maybe if we don't talk about it, we think about it every day. Is my phone charged? Do I have batteries for my car? Do I have batteries for my remote? It is an everyday thing.
I just,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't.
when I was invited on the show and they're like, okay, the greatest tech inventions of all time. I mean, if anyone is at what's the greatest tech inventions of all time, name 5 things that you think would never come up. That would be one of them. I mean, if I'm being honest, like it would be like,
I'm
Because
nervous now,
I'm
Jeff.
just saying, like, just like,
people underestimate it.
Oh man.
Don't underestimate the battery. Think about it from a high level. Think about
I
it.
get it. It's important.
It's important.
I'm just saying when to come to my mind.
Oh, Jeff, you're making me a little nervous now because the way I mean, I feel like we're HLS's list and my list is going to be next with this brutal beatdown. So
No.
what else do you have?
Wait, you call that a beatdown? I thought that was a big up.
What? That's self-confidence episode.
Yeah,
really
there you
well.
go.
Juve
there
is
you go.
very confident on his list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So I do, 3D printing is good. GPS, good. Internet. Some of these I thought, you could have gone a little deeper. Like I thought internet and World Wide Web, like maybe something specific on the World Wide Web that maybe changed your life as opposed to just, TV or anything. I mean, you did get specific local with the logical with the porn, which I appreciated.
Hey,
And
hey.
HLS's list, the GPS can get you to the old school video store, which has porn, right?
There you go.
3D printing, you can
There's a
print
connection. There's a
porn.
connection.
Right. There's a smartphone, you can watch porn. It's almost the same list as yours, lacking water. But
The recipe for water, not
it's just
actually
really-
water. The
right.
recipe for water.
right, I mean you can print the water. We're
Yeah.
printing water. So all right.
That's great.
All right.
All right. Logical Genius, did you have anything for cross-examination?
Yeah, I do. I'm glad you talked about the internet, Jeff, and I'm glad HLS made the distinction. I agree. Internet and World Wide Web are different, right? Internet came in the 1980s or something like that. Started development in the 60s. World Wide Web. The reason why I say the World Wide Web is because that is when it became available to your everyday consumer, like in the early 90s. So before that, it was only available to a certain limited number of people, probably in the tech industry or scientific community. But I say the World Wide Web because that's when it became available to the masses, and the masses can go and access the information and take advantage of the internet, where they can start uploading porn and eat and water recipes and stuff like that. So that's why I say World Wide Web.
How did this become the porn episode?
It just went that way. It just went. You can't talk about the internet. You can't talk about television. You can't talk about smartphone devices and not include porn, because I feel like that's what people use it for nowadays.
Exactly, Logic. You can't talk about video games without porn either. So remember that. So
Okay.
HLS, what do you have for cross-examination?
I feel like Jeff kind of obliterated both you guys, but logical genius. You're number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Automobile. That's higher to you. Sorry, I take that back. Television is more important than the automobile?
I think so. Because even now, right? Not everyone has a car, but everyone probably has a television. Right? That says something. The fact that people that in every household you'll find a television. And that's how people consume media nowadays. Television, I mean, obviously internet, YouTube and all that stuff in your smartphones are probably more, it's growing, but I think television is still the number one form of media consumption for most people. That's where we get our news. That's where we entertain ourselves. That's where we watch shows on how to make water, stuff like that. So all of that is available, I think, via television, movies, again. And that's why I put it up there. I think it if you look at my list, it's about impact, and I think television has more of an impact than automobiles. And it's not that, I mean, it's one up, right? It's not like it's 1 versus 5 or something like that.
No, it's interesting because, back in the day when we were kids, even now, like I'd rather go outside and hang out than watch TV. You know what I mean? Or if I don't have a car, I can always call a cab or hop on a bus or ride a bike. The Amish have no motorized vehicles, no automobiles, and they make their way with bicycles and buggies.
Shout out to the Amish.
Shout out to the Amish. We'll be number 1 in that community soon. Thank you for that. Yeah, I get it. But if you're talking about my childhood, because your childhood was in the 18th century, I woke up and the first thing I did was turn on cartoons, watch Mr. Rogers, watch Sesame Street, watch my morning cartoons or Saturday morning cartoons. I didn't get up and go play hide and seek.
Okay.
Jeff, it looked like you wanted to jump in there.
Well, I had a note and I forgot. Logical had said that television, when he was one of his for television, was that it changed porno, he said. And I was just curious, what television do you have that's that has porno on it? I just
no. I mean, it made it. The television is a portal, right? It's a portal to other things, right? And the same way to telephone connected people to other people. Television connected us to a new form of visual consumption, right? So now
what
you're no
channels
longer.
do you have that I don't have access to? Is what I'm asking.
The blurry
Very
ones,
clearly,
the blurry ones, the the one that your parents didn't pay for cable for back in the day, and you're like twitching your eye or you're messing around your eyes to see if you could pick it up. Those channels from back in the day.
Got it.
All right, Jeff, as you're going through this excruciating list, for me, for cross-examination, I have to say I agree with Jeff on this. I feel like you guys did not get specific enough. I think that with everything on my list, if you subtract it, we are going back to the Stone Age. So almost everything in your list has to deal with a microchip. It has to deal with transistors. So
if we don't have the speaker, we're back in the Stone Age, and we gotta
That's
go.
the one thing they don't have in the Flintstones: microphones.
The microphone.
Right.
Hey,
you take away the microphones and the speakers, and we're in bedrock.
Hello, think about it. I need people to think about it.
Hey, Animal, with your microphone. Hey, Animal, I'm going to sing you a song and kill you afterwards, so be ready.
We are back in the Stone Age. I'm letting you know. I just want you to think about life without the things on my list. So, Jeff, it is now decision time. We want to know, who do you have in third place?
I have in third place, and the reason of the three esteemed gentlemen before me that this person is in third is that I found his top five, the specifics of his top five, to be too generic to move it up the list. So with some specifics, I think we would not find the logical genius in third place. So I'm sorry, man. So, but it was just like, I'll give you examples why. Is like telephone, right? When HLS brought up smartphone, like telephone, you could be talking, it means different things in different times, right? You couldn't always just easily get the water without going through an operator first. Hey, operator, can you connect me to the living room and ask my mom to bring me water? You know what I mean? So it was like, it wasn't always there's so, computer, www. Like, so I felt like while the list had potential, I think honing into some of the specifics versus the generic of the macro. I think if you gone a little micro, it would have been, I think, a little better.
I can see that logic. Okay.
That being
All right.
said,
Jeff, we want number one. We don't care about number two.
Oh yeah, I don't care about number two either. The number one is HLS.
Oh my God! You put the H2 over.
What? Not H2.
The chip
no.
Yes.
is here. Let me
I mean,
I can't even like, I don't know. I can't even process this right.
Well, I mean, come on. Smartphone. You got a little more specific. GPS, streaming services, 3D printing. Internet was a little generic, but Juve, I mean, you were a close second and really a really close third. But the but I mean, I appreciated your passion, and you really sold your list a lot.
Battery,
it's just
sold that battery.
There was many maybe some underlying things that were more important than the things that you had on your list. Anyway, so that's my final call. So
the judge has spoken.
The judge has spoken. So Jeff, we want you
enjoy
to
that H2O you just drank right there.
Yeah.
Enjoy that H2O.
I used HLS's 3D printer recipe to whip it up.
So Jeff,
it's a little dry.
We want to know, what is your 5 cents on the topic?
Well, I had a list and then I rewrote it based on this show.
Okay.
I felt like my original list was kind of some tech inventions that people could actually use now and maybe, from a social media point of view, better their lives. But I'm going to throw that list away and I'm going to go with the new list that I created, inspired by your list.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm going to say number one, of course, I like to get a little more specific and say D batteries, because D batteries are, without that was really the only ones that power a flashlight.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So I think,
that's true.
So that's number 5.
But more than AAA, because I feel like AAA batteries are like, you can never find enough of those.
They're expensive, they're small, and they're so rare. You never know, oh, these are AA, and then you only have AAA. It's like they need to really come up with one battery for everything. Okay. Number 4 is whoever invented deleting your browser history.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's actually part of our bro code listing as well. Someone from the People's Poll actually was like, hey, delete my search history, please.
So I had the mute button. I thought was pretty good at number 3. And then I was inspired by the speakers and the microphone that make the concerts better. I think the real invention that makes concerts amazing is lighters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the final one, inspired by logical genius, is that mouse movement where the windows fly off the screen so you can hide your porn as someone walks in the room real fast. Like, what? Oh, I was just looking at my desktop. Yeah.
The minimized screen. That's a good list. Good list. Good list.
Thank you for sharing, Jeff. So we do something where we ask the people what they have to say. Shoot, usually we coordinate better, but Logical Genius, do we have a people poll?
We do. So Jeff, we hit up the socials and our listeners to see what they said. And we total up the top 5 responses in no particular order. Internet came up, smartphone came up, the computer came up, the light bulb came up. I guess that makes a lot of sense. And the car came up. So those are from the people. And
Are
I
you
actually
telling
took
me you went to the internet
We went to
and
the internet.
and speakers didn't come up?
no.
Yo, the shame, but yo, this
No, I don't even know how they heard me say it
How
without
did they even
speakers.
thank
You know,
you? How
so
did they even hear? Yeah, how are y'all listening? People, well, we're video now too, but an audio podcast, how can you hear us without speakers?
I don't know. I don't know. And
Uh,
how are you gonna power those speakers without your D batteries? I have no idea. So I get the connect. I see it now. I see the logic now.
Thank you.
But Jeff, I took it a step further. Since it's talking about technology, I went ahead and asked our good buddy, or I should say HLS's good buddy, ChatGPT, and see what ChatGPT said for their top 5, and basically said, look at HLS's list because that's where he got it from. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So ChatGPT always tries to be neutral and says, the information is subjective and blah, 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 blah. But it ultimately gave me a list and said that this is up to date as of 2021. So I'll start at number 5. It had printing press. So that's a good thing. I mean,
that is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, automobile came up. Number 3, electricity and electric power generation. And actually, someone on our people's poll said nuclear power, which I thought was a good one, but it wasn't a lot of people said that. At number 2 was smartphones, and at number 1 was the internet. So that's according to ChatGPT.
All right.
All right. So Jeff, if we wanted to check you out or check out the many ventures that you're into, whether it's in the comedy club, which I'll say that your list that you brought up midway through the show, quite impressive in that regard, or through your Stampede Social company, how can we get in touch with you?
That's a great question, and I'm asked that very often. Just kidding.
In Honduras, yes.
Well, okay, so I have a podcast that you guys can check out if you want. It's called Classic Conversations with Jeff Dwoskin. Classic Conversations and all your podcasts. I talk to, it's a pop culture nostalgia interview show. So I talked to, I had like Carol Baskin on from Tiger King. And if you like, Will Wheaton, I've had him on, a bunch of Happy Days folks, the Love Boat folks, like a lot of people from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Your Batman 66, Burt Ward's been on a couple times.
Okay.
Robin. So a lot of cool people. Kato Kalin, remember him from O.J. Simpson?
Gosh,
Yeah,
Kato.
that was fun. So that's a fun podcast I do. I've been doing it for a few years. And Stampede Social, we talked about it a lot already. So it's stampede.social if you want to check that out. If anyone wants to check it out, if you want to do it, you get a 14-day trial. But if you type in 5 cents as a promo code, FIVE cents, you'll get 50% off any of the price you see. You get 50% off. So just as a thank you for having me on, I'll keep that going for a while. If anyone wants to check it out, just need a business or creator Instagram account that's connected to your Facebook. If you use Buffer or something like that, you're already set up correctly. But yeah. So.
All right. So we'll put all that information in the episode description. Thank you for that. That's very generous. And we are very humbled for you to do that for our listeners out there.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I'm good. I was just going to make a water joke. It's okay.
AKA H2O. Yes.
Oh,
in the building. God. So we're going to go ahead and say good night to the people.
I can't believe H2O. What is going on right now? We talk about porn. We talk about H2O.
It's
Ladies
the
and gentlemen.
one episode.
Yeah,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, my logic did not work tonight, but hopefully I will get them next time. Have a good night.
TMZ actually right now just broke news that the recipe of water was leaked on the My 5 Cents podcast by
Oh my
HLS. The whole article on it. It's their number one headline right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we
viral.
don't have any supply chain issues. Hydrogen is in low low demand right now. High demand, I
Yeah.
should say.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and say good night to the people. Jeff, your decision making was quite questionable, but you made me laugh. So it's all worth it. Okay. Just want to say good night to our Bermuda folks out there.
Oh
Definitely
boy.
repping Bermuda. It's going to end up on the wall. We appreciate the love. And I just want to say cheers to you guys in that regard. Great accomplishment. So just thank you and good
I
night.
need a
And
mug.
continue to listen. Yes,
We'll
listen.
get you one. We'll get you
We'll
one.
get you one.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you a mug, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And HLS and our champion for the week.
Jeff, you stepped in the right direction. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. The Venmo's coming soon.
And Jeff Dwoskin, please say goodnight to the people.
Good night, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my 5 cents. I enjoyed being here. You guys are awesome. Tons of fun. Thank you very much. And hello, Bermuda.
Yes.